Palu, tabla maestro Zakir Hussain passed away at the age of 73 in San Francisco due to heart ailments. You have of course collaborated with him a number of times in the past. How do you remember him today?
He was the sun. I would say in Indian music, he was the sun. वो सूरज थे. His energy, his passion, his hard work, his love for learning and growing, even though he was who he was infectious and so positive and so inspiring to our generation to keep learning more and more and getting better at our craft. And I think today, Indian music, classical music, has suffered a darkness. We're all in a shock. And, there will be candles around at night, but he is the sun. He was the sun.
How was he while collaborating with other artists? And what was your experience of jamming with him on during his concerts? On his concerts,
He
when you
was
toured with
somebody
him?
who had a lot of fun with workshops he would do or performances he would do. And if somebody doesn't get it the first time, he will show it in many different ways. He would never say, you don't understand, never. It was always like, okay, let's try this, let's try that. And that strength of patience and understanding and love for other people to learn and grow with him and play and collaborate was something that very few musicians keep until they pass. And he gave us so much that I think we have to let ourselves learn how to take everything that he's given us. It's he's a guru and ustad, and kya ustad the, kya human being the. And he used to play with my Khan Sahab, Ustad Sultan Khan Sahab. Every like they toured a lot, and because of that, I knew him since I was very very young.
Were you in touch with him or his family in San Francisco? In
No, like I saw him at the Grammys last year, and I know Tony Bhabi and everybody, but I didn't know about this hospitalization. No, I wasn't aware.
No, he's a legend, but he managed to blend with contemporary stars like you. He and his work surely was made for all ages. Did you sense that while working with him?
He was like a child, the energy and the happiness that came to him when he performed was like a child. It was so happy and very welcoming. And when a child finds some new toy, they become so happy. It was innocent. He was innocent like that. And anything he would do, I remember he never repeated it. He's such a genius. He had so much music in him and rhythm in him that nothing was ever a repeat. It was all new. And the awe that he found, we found it too. So the collaborations were very exciting and very new, and every day would be a new day, and you would have to be ready to see what he's going to come up with. So you would be on the edge. I was always on the edge when I was with him, around him, playing for him or singing for him.
Do you remember your first meeting with him? When and how you
Yes.
met him for the first time?
Yes, I remember. Um, my Khasab, Ustad Sultan Khasab, took me to one of their concerts, and I was 16 years old. And we saw him backstage in India actually, and NCPA, and I felt like I met God. Literally, at age of 16, I literally thought I saw God. And he is the God of music, and he is our Bhagwan, and he's our Allah. And he is everything to a musician who worships music and who breathes music. And I feel like for me, he has always been my God.
What was, according to you, his gift?
What was his gift was a passion of lifelong learning. He taught us in every workshop, in every collaboration, everywhere where I have met him. It was always that you should never stop learning and growing and working on your craft. And riyaz every day, do your riyaz every day, look for something different than what you've done before. push your boundaries, push yourself as an artist, always learn and never stop learning. That's what I learned from him.
He popularized tabla and excelled in it. What was the secret of his enduring music career?
I think the openness and the embracing and the awareness to create and embrace everything that comes in a different genre. It was never that I'll never experiment or I will never play with this. No, let me see what I can do. Let me see how I can blend in tabla and the rhythms of India in this context. Let me see how I can collaborate with Bella Fleck. I mean, he's a country guy, and Zakir ji is an Indian musician, and the way they played together, and they won a Grammy last year, was just amazing. How a country musician, folk musician, Americana musician from America will just absolutely play with Zakir ji, and it sounds like it was made to be together. That ease of blending sounds and genres is a very difficult thing. And how much of Indian music, how much of the groove, how much of the beat, how much of the micro rhythms can I play here? That balance is extremely hard to find, and they found it. And I think that gives us an opportunity to learn and experiment, and sometimes it'll happen and it'll work.
Is there a your famous Zakir Hussain story that you like to share with him? The one meeting that you remember, or something he taught you that has remained with
Yes,
you?
yes, I would actually. So in New York, when we used to we used to go to his concerts with Ustad Sultan Khan Sahab. They used to go to this restaurant called Chatkara. It was a very really cool. It's a small restaurant, but great food, and they loved food. So we all went after the concert, and he ordered. He was so generous that he ordered for everybody, not just himself, but he's like, everybody who is in this table will be fed and will be taken care of. And that generosity and blessings that he has given to not only people who work with him, but also people who is just there to be with him as fans. He took care of everyone. And that is a huge heart that a musician can have.
And finally, Falu, how do you see the legacy that he's left behind?
I think one thing he did really well is every summer he held workshops and he taught. He taught the younger tabla players and people who want to learn, and they didn't have to be a tabla player. He would teach a sitar player, or he would teach a sarod player. Everybody took his workshops in the summer. They used to sign up for a year before that, and 2 weeks of retreat, 2 weeks with Zakiji, 2 weeks with how he approaches and thinks about music, and he taught. And I think because he has done this over the years, he has so many amazing shagirds. A couple of them are, Aditya Kalyanpur, Sandeep Swadia. These people are so promising and they are so good that I think he knew that he couldn't just go without leaving his legacy behind. So he has students that he has prepared, and I'm sure they're going to be so inspired to keep his legacy on.